Well, hello there, and good day to you good people out there. Hope today finds you doing well. This is your friend, Vincent E. Brown, and I'm at home today, and I getting better with my, whatever. Don't like being cooped up at home. I haven't been working in about a week and a half now, but next week I should be getting back to work and getting back into the normal swing of things. But what I wanted to talk about today, I want people to know something about me. If you don't already know, that I am not a person who believes that black people should stick together. Let that sink in a little bit. You know, I don't believe that black people should stick together. I know a lot of people will hear that and say, "Yep, I told you all he hates being black." Not what I mean at all. What do I mean when I say I don't believe black people should stick together? Well, this is what I mean. If you are a person who looks like me, has my skin tone or whatever, and you're not about the truth, I'm not going to stick with you. I don't care what your skin color is. If you're not about the truth, you don't have an ally with me. I've been watching some things on the news and TV and everything lately here. And of course, we were talking about the black fatigue. Some people say, well, don't call it black fatigue, call it ghetto fatigue, ratchet fatigue. Yeah, that's okay, but I still call it black fatigue because I am so sick and tired of people talking about, well, if a white person did this and a black person did this, the black person will suffer more and all that and everything. And I'm just so tired of it. So I still refer to it as black fatigue, even though there are black people who are well-meaning, there are black people who are upstanding citizens and everything, but I still refer to it as black fatigue because I'm just tired of the whole black mess, black this, black that, why do we have a Black History Month and, things like that. But it was a couple of things I wanted to talk about. First thing I wanted to talk about was this situation involving Carnival Cruise Lines. Here lately, Carnival Cruise Lines, they're starting to ratchet up their their rules and whatever, because Carnival Cruise Lines is kind of a cheaper cruise, if I'm correct. I think they're the cheapest, and they offer these things because they want people to have. They offer the prices because they want everybody to have the chance to be able to go out and enjoy a cruise, or go to exotic lands and things like that. And I can understand that. I have no fault with them about that. But one thing people need to understand in this day and age is that when you offer something cheaply here in the United States, you're going to attract a crowd of people that don't have, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have common decency to their heart. You're going to invite the most ratchet of this group. And folks, let me tell you all something. Ratchetness ratchetness is something that affects every race of people. I've seen ratchet white folks. I've seen ratchet Hispanics, ratchet blacks. Very rarely do I see ratchet Asians, but you got them too. But most of the time, the ratchet behavior is at epidemic levels in the black race. And whenever you offer something to get a bunch of them together and whatever, it's going to turn into a disaster. I've seen the videos of people on black folks on these cruises, and they basically turn these cruises into like a backyard cookout or something like that. And some of the behaviors and I mean, it's just deplorable. It really is. It's very sickening what these people do on these cruises. And they're always talking about, they don't like black folks and everything. Well, here they're giving you an opportunity. Here they are giving you an opportunity to be able to enjoy certain things, and you all turn it around and you mess it up, you know. And so I'm watching these people, they're out here, they got the bonnets on their head. I don't understand that bonnet thing, you know. If you're going to come out in public, come out looking presentable. You know, you can wear the bonnet at home and your pajamas and everything. Wear that mess at home. But when you come out in public, you should show yourself as presentable. You know, and they wearing the shirts that are 2 sizes too small and showing their belly button and their fat rolls and everything. I'm not trying to be insulting or anything like that, but it is what it is. You know, some of them, they wear pants too tight for them, and some of them, their pants are hanging down and showing their drawers and everything. And I'm just talking about the women. The men, you know, they looking all unkempt too. Their pants hanging down and all that and everything. And nobody wants to see all that. But when someone makes a complaint about that, they say, well, you just don't like it because you're white, or because you're or because you're a racist, or some crazy excuse they always come up with. So now the ratchetness factor has been ratcheted up, so to speak. And now these cruise lines, Carnival cruise lines, they're starting to crack down on a lot of this behavior. They don't want anybody bringing any of their personal speakers. I've heard that they want to cut down on the rap music. I'm not so sure about that one, but if it were up to me, you know, I'd be like, yeah, cut down on the rap music. And I'm gonna tell you why I say cut down on the rap music, because it seems like every time the rap music goes up, the ratchetness goes up. You know, they get out there, they start doing their little stuff, and the women showing their jiggle and their shake and everything. And yeah, I don't like that type of behavior either. I've never been a big rap fan. I liked some rap when I was growing up, but I've never been a big time rap fan. And this garbage that they call rap today, I'm totally against it. You know, because it's always talking about, you know, doing the booty shake and women dressing in provocative clothing, and parents, they're not even paying attention to the trends, and they just let their kids listen to anything. You know, go out there, do any dance they want to, and the parents think that is cute, and it's not cute at all. So I have no problem with them banning rap music on the cruises. I have no problem with it. But one thing a lot of these people don't understand is your behavior. Your behavior conveys a certain type of lifestyle. And the problem is whenever people go out and they see this type of behavior from folks that look like me and whatever, and it's so common, it makes people like myself look bad. And people say, oh, it's because of racism. No, it's not because of racism. It's because of ratchetism. That's what it's caused by. You're being ratchet, and you're making the rest of us look like that. And then when people like me start speaking out against it, we're called Uncle Toms and sellouts and stepping in fetch it, and, you know, all those other cute little names that they like to bring up about us. And me, yeah, I don't like living in black neighborhoods. I live in a sort of black neighborhood right now. No, I don't like living in black neighborhoods because of the ratchetness factor, because of the gunshots and people getting out here, you know, letting their kids just do any little thing and they don't say nothing to them. But when someone does say something to their kids, they're in people's faces. That's my child. That's my child. That's my child. Don't you be talking to my child like that. Well, you need to get your little ratchet little biscuit, your little your ratchet little biscuit snatcher, and you need to teach them some etiquette, okay? Because no one's going to put up with this. A whole lot of people is not going to put up with this. Some people might put up with it because they don't want a confrontation. But one of these days, your children are going to come across somebody who's not going to put up with it, and there's going to be some sad consequences that result from these actions, you know. And you all can sit there and defend your kids. You can defend their ratchetness and everything. And like I said in a previous video, a lot of reason why these kids act the way they do is because their parents haven't grown up. Their parents started having kids before they were mature in their minds. And so basically you have kids raising kids. I don't care if you are 37 years old, you still have the mind of a 15-year-old. And you're raising these kids and you just letting them do whatever and everything. You think it's cute. And then when some negative consequence results from their actions, you want to get all in the face of the media and talk about, oh, they did this because I'm black. You know, my baby, my baby, my baby. Well, you need to be saying my baby when you're growing, when you're raising your child. But a lot of you all don't do that. And then when things start going south for you, you want to get in front of the cameras and talk about, oh, I'm a weeping, I'm a sad mother and everything. My child, my child, my child. You know, I've been watching this thing with the Austin Metcalf and the Carmelo Anthony thing. And you think the biggest victims in this whole thing was the Carmelo Anthony's parents. You know, you would think that their child was the one that was murdered, but it wasn't. Your child is the one that committed the murder, and they get up there. And of course, the media is going to spin it, you know, their way because all they care about is ratings and whatever. And everyone wants to take the side of Carmelo Anthony's parents. And his parents, Carmelo Anthony, they're not victims, but this was their chance to get their big payday. You know, they invite the Benjamin Crumps and the Al Sharptons to come and defend them and whatever. And they get a big payday. Same thing happened with Leslie McSpadden, the mother of Michael Brown some years ago. You know, she gets up there. She didn't even raise Michael Brown. But when Michael Brown got killed because of something he did stupid, because he was stupid. Yes, he was stupid. And I will say that. But he did something stupid and he got killed as a result. Then all of a sudden, here comes Leslie McSpadden as the weeping mother. Oh, that was my baby. Oh, well, you didn't even raise the dude. You didn't even raise him. Matter of fact, the grandmother and the cousin, the grandmother was the one that raised him. And when the grandmother and a cousin were the grandmother was trying to sell T-shirts. Here comes Leslie McSpadden and one of her cousins coming in and actually assaulted the grandmother. But you didn't raise the boy. But you get up there and you taking pictures with Hillary Clinton and all that crazy mess and everything. And everyone's like, yeah, we're with you. Yeah, we're with you. We love you. We're with you. But where were you all when she was when she was supposedly raising this boy? And I want to say that to the people today. Where are you people when these people are raising these kids and just letting them have their go at whatever? Just letting them run around acting like little animals and everything. And then when someone ends up shooting and killing one of them, you want to cry racism all the time. And see, that's what's happening in this situation with the Carnival cruise lines. Now that Carnival is cutting down on a lot of this ratchet behavior, they want to say, oh, they don't want us black people on their cruise lines. Well, if they didn't want you all on their cruise lines, they would have told you, we don't want any black people on here. They made the prices lower so that lower income black people can come on to their cruise lines and enjoy, you know, a cruise, going to exotic lands and things like that. But you all messed that up. And then when someone starts cracking down on it, you want to say it's racism. Oh, they don't like black people. They don't like black people. Well, if they didn't like black people, they wouldn't have had you on their cruise in the first place. You know, people use a little bit of critical thinking. I mean, come on now, you know. But it's things like this that just make me shake my head. And I'm like, wow, y'all, this needs to stop. It needs to stop. And it's not going to stop until these people get it in their minds. Hey, we're tired of being stereotyped a certain way. We're tired of being thought of as this kind of way. So what we're going to do at the individual level, we're going to make up our minds that we're going to stop this behavior. And then when this behavior stops, guess what? After a certain amount of time, nobody knows how long, but after a certain amount of time, guess what? People won't think of you as ratchet anymore. And don't come up with this thing about, oh, it's because I'm black. No, it has nothing to do with you being black. It has to do with you being ratchet. That's what it has to do with. And it needs to stop. And then when people like myself who don't like to perpetuate these stereotypes comes out and speaks out against it, then you want to jump on us and say we're a bunch of sellouts and we're trying to be white and all that stupid mess. No one's trying to be white. I'm trying to be truthful. I'm trying to be right, not white. Okay. And there's no way I can be white. People tell me you trying to be white. I don't know how do you try to be white? I mean, how? I never read that book on how to be white. I just like to speak clearly. I'm not the best. I'm not the most eloquent speaker or anything like that. But I like to speak clearly. I like to pronounce my words. I love to read. I like to read a lot and everything. That's something that a lot of people in the black community don't like to do. But when someone like me comes up, oh, you're Mr. Steppin' and Fetch It. You're a black comfort dog for white conservatives, which that's funny to me. But anyway, I digress. But I wanted to go on to this other subject about this lady named Sade. It's either Sade or Sadie. I don't know how she pronounced her name. Sadie Perkins. Sadie Perkins. She was the official for, I guess, food and drug or whatever in her state. I think in Texas. I'm not sure what her title was, but she was, working for the government. And, she even made it possible for people to use EBT to go to the farmer's market. That tells you a lot right there. But she gets up and I'm pretty sure you all are familiar with what happened in Texas this past weekend, this 4th of July weekend. And it kind of hit me hard because I remember reading a story in Reader's Digest from 1988 about a flood in about pretty much that same area where some campers got caught in a flood and some people had gotten killed in 1987. And I think that was the last time they had a major flood in that particular area. And when someone said the Guadalupe River is overflowing, I said, oh man, that's that same river from 1987. And, I saw the pictures, and then it was another camp, with girls. Some of the girls I don't know how many of the girls they found, but the last I heard was 20 something of them were still missing. And people were like, we need to go out here, we need your prayers. We're going to go out here trying to find these girls and whatever. And so you got a couple of idiots. Sade Perkins is one of them. Get up here talking about, I don't care about them white girls. If it was black girls, we wouldn't be, breaking our backs, and I'm not saying that verbatim. I'm just paraphrasing. She's basically like, oh, these are just a bunch of white people. But if it was black kids, they wouldn't be, telling us we need to find them and everything. And then she goes on to say that this was a whites only campground. It was a whites only campground for girls. I went to the Mystic campsite, the Mystic Camp website myself, and I don't see anywhere where it says no other girls are allowed but white girls. Now, let's just say in that area, it just happens to be more white folks than black folks. Okay. That's coincidence. It's not like, oh, we don't want no black folks here, but I'm pretty sure if black folks had signed up for it, they would be allowed. They would be allowed in the camp, but all she saw was a bunch of white girls that went missing. And folks, this is the type of thing that breaks my heart. It really, really breaks my heart when a situation like this happens, a disaster happens, and then some fruitbat comes up here, and they want to turn this thing political. People are missing. People have died. The camp director, he even died. He got killed by the flood. And we want to turn this into a political situation. People out here blaming Donald Trump. Oh, Donald Trump fired people in the meteorological services. This is why this is what happens. No, it had nothing to do with Donald Trump. And people hate Donald Trump so much they're willing to blame him for anything. My dog died. Oh, it's Donald Trump's fault. Maybe I need to blame Donald Trump for why my gallbladder had to be taken out a week and a half ago. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I'll get some money or whatever. I don't know. But they want to blame Donald Trump for everything. I mean, you all get the man a rest. I mean, for real. He had nothing to do with these people losing their lives. And first of all, at the individual level, you can look at the weather and say, oh, the weather's going to turn bad. You can hear the weather alerts. I know that my phone kept ringing all through the weekend about flash floods in this area. I live in Durham, North Carolina, and west of us in Chapel Hill and Alamance County and whatever, they had some serious floods. And they kept, sending those warnings about flood waters and everything and stuff like that. Now, where I live in Durham, I wasn't touched, but just west of here, maybe not even 5 miles from here, there were floods. I was like, man, that Chapel Hill, that's pretty much next door to Durham, and I saw flooded parking lots and everything. But what I'm saying is when the warnings go out, we need to take it upon ourselves to say, okay, we need to heed this warning. This warning has gone out. And so we need to take corresponding actions to protect ourselves from this bad weather. And I was watching a video. I forget where I seen it at, but the video showed in Texas the flood waters, showed the flash flooding, and showed how fast it came. And I said, oh my goodness, they actually come down. I never seen a flash flood in real time like that. All I've seen was, all of a sudden there's the flood there, but I never seen it like that. It looked like a tsunami. And I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world? And they said it took just 45 minutes for those waters to reach flood stage. 45 minutes, and not only that, before the 45 minutes is up, the water's already rising. And sometimes that water rises so fast, you can't get away from it. And when I heard about those girls, I was like, oh my gosh, but then you had to have these nuts like Sade Perkins come up here talking about, oh, these white girls and, they're this. And, if it was a bunch of black girls, they wouldn't have done anything. You don't know that. You don't know that. And then when people came out against her, because a lot of people came out and let her have it, she gonna dig her heels in. Yeah, I know y'all, you saying I'm on EBT, and she pointing to her house. Does this look like I'm on EBT? And I'm like, but in a way, I can say that when times of tragedy come out, it does bring out the stupid people. And you can weed them out. You can point at them and say, hey, that person's stupid. And Sade Perkins, if you're watching this video, I will say it to your face. You are a stupid person. And you want to sit here and talk about white folks and everything. And your boyfriend, I guess it's her boyfriend, is a white minister. And he's probably a little puppy dog or something like that and whatever. But, her partner is a white person. And this is another thing that gets me. This is part of the black fatigue. A lot of these people that always want to talk about white man this and white man that, they're actually in a relationship or even married to a white person. And I don't get that. I really don't get that. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a black woman married to a white man. I really don't understand that. You're married to a white person. You're having a relationship with a white person. But you want to sit here and talk about how evil white people are. I don't get that. That doesn't compute up here. I'm gonna go Mr. Spock on this. That's not logical, Captain. But but these are the two things that I've seen coming out the past few days that really irk me, that really tick me off. And my prayers go out to those people in Texas, to the people in my area, people who have suffered from floods, people who have lost loved ones, people who have been injured. My sympathies go out to you people, and I pray that God will help you in any way. Well, whatever help that you need, that God will send that help speedily. I still send prayers out to the people in Western North Carolina who suffered from Hurricane Helene, last year. But folks, we first of all, when something like this happens, we need to get the politics out of it. Stop the politics. These are people. I don't care if they vote like you, if they agree like you, if they have a different skin color. These are still people. And I don't understand why you all will get up here and try to make a political issue out of a tragic event. I don't get that. But what do I know? I'm just not. What do I know? I'm just a nondescript black man from Durham, North Carolina, over here making a YouTube video. But anyway, you all take care of yourselves out there. Stay safe, stay healthy. This is Vincent E. Brown. I'm signing off. And until the next time, I'll see you on the rebound.